including the so-called marginalized groups whose feelings you've decided need protecting. Because trust me, somewhere right now, there are 3 clueless white girls in Texas who are planning to go as a mariachi band. And when they do, liberal Twitter will lose their... and the rest of America will go, oh, for f***'s sake, when did liberals become the fun police? Does anybody remember when conservatives were the ones with the sticks up there? We went from yes, we can to oh, no, you didn't.
Halloween is supposed to be fun. That one special night when adults can be silly, kids can eat way too much candy, and no one judges you for walking around dressed like Vampire Elvis or a taco with legs. But lately, that carefree spirit feels like it's disappearing. Every October, the fun police seem to come out, ready to tell everyone what they're not allowed to wear. What used to be a night about imagination and laughter has turned into a political test run by the so-called woke crowd. These days, you can't just pick a costume. You need to make sure it passes some imaginary social justice inspection. And if you accidentally upset someone online, well, congrats, you'll be trending by morning. That's exactly what Bill Maher called out in his latest monologue. He didn't just criticize cancel culture. He absolutely roasted it. Because honestly, when did liberals become the fun police? There was a time when the political left was all about breaking the rules, pushing limits, and being bold. Now it feels like they're running a daycare for grown-ups. We've gone from yes we can to oh no you didn't. And the funniest part? Somewhere in Texas right now, there are probably 3 clueless white girls planning to go as a mariachi band. And when they do, liberal Twitter will completely lose its mind. Meanwhile, most of America will just roll their eyes and say, oh, for God's sake. Halloween used to be the one night when being a little politically incorrect was part of the fun. That was the whole point. To be silly, daring, even a bit offensive, because everyone understood it was pretend. Nobody thought Dracula was a public threat, or that fake blood was a political statement. But now, everything turns into a moral crisis. Each October, social media fills up with outrage threads and lectures from cultural studies professors, explaining why wearing a sombrero is a hate crime. Then someone on The View will solemnly declare that face paint is problematic. Meanwhile, Tucker Carlson just sits there, staring at the screen like he's watching an alien try to explain TikTok.
Not everything that merely alludes to another culture is racist or cultural appropriation. Really. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Halloween was always fun because it wasn't PC. Not being PC is almost the whole point of the holiday. But now everything has to turn into a federal case of snowflakes versus humor. And then some cultural studies professor will go on TV to try to explain his outrage, and Tucker Carlson will look at him like this.
And you know what? Maher isn't wrong. Most people shouting about cultural appropriation are completely missing the point. Not every costume that references another culture is racist. Sometimes it's just admiration. Sometimes it's just fun. People have always borrowed and shared ideas from other cultures. That's literally how human civilization grew. Art, food, fashion, music. It's all a mix of global influences, a kimono, a sari, a mariachi outfit. These things don't automatically mean mockery. More often than not, they show appreciation for something beautiful or creative in another culture. Yet here we are in 2025, acting like curiosity is a crime and admiration equals oppression. That's just absurd. Halloween is supposed to celebrate imagination, not politics. It's supposed to bring people together, not divide them. But when every costume gets turned into an online debate, we lose what makes it special: the humor, the playfulness, the creativity. We've turned one of the most beloved holidays into another excuse for people to argue on the internet. And here's the wild part. Polls consistently show that most Americans hate this kind of stuff. Maher even cited one survey that found 80% of Americans believe political correctness has gone too far. And it's not just conservatives. That number includes 75% of Black Americans, 82% of Asians, and 87% of Hispanics. You know what that means? Nobody likes the woke scolds. Not even the people they claim to be defending.
Majority of America is with the Democrats on the issues. They just find the woke people irritating as hell. In a new poll, 80% of Americans find political correctness to be a problem, including 75% of African Americans, 74% of Americans under 30, 82% of Asians, 87% of Hispanics, 88% of Native Americans. If you're not a statistician, let me break those numbers down for you. Nobody likes you.
What started out as a genuine effort to be more respectful has turned into a culture of fear. Now, people second-guess every joke, every opinion, every costume, worried that one small mistake could ruin their life. It's exhausting. The joy is gone. The spontaneity is gone. What's left is a weird kind of performance, where everyone pretends to be morally perfect while secretly hoping they don't get canceled next. Let's be honest. Freedom of expression isn't just about what we say. It's also about how we express ourselves. Costumes, comedy, and satire are all part of that freedom. But when creativity gets policed, it sends the message. You can be whoever you want, as long as it's approved by the outrage committee. That's not progress. That's censorship dressed up as activism. And here's the funniest part. The people these activists claim to be protecting usually don't even care. Most folks from so-called marginalized groups aren't offended when someone wears a mariachi outfit or African print clothing. In fact, many love seeing others appreciate their culture. They can tell the difference between making fun of something and showing admiration. It's only the perpetually offended people online who can't.
Including the so-called marginalized groups whose feelings you've decided need protecting. Because trust me, somewhere right now, there are 3 clueless white girls in Texas who are planning to go as a mariachi band. And when they do, liberal Twitter will lose their... And the rest of America will go, oh, for f***'s sake, when did liberals become the fun police? Does anybody remember when conservatives were the ones with the sticks up there? We went from yes, we can to oh, no, you did.
Somewhere along the way, being woke stopped being about kindness and empathy and turned into a way to control people. It's no longer about including everyone. Now it's about forcing everyone to think, speak, and even laugh the same way. If you don't follow their script, you're instantly labeled a bigot. And honestly, if there's one holiday that should be free from all this nonsense, it's Halloween. The entire point of Halloween is parody, exaggeration, humor, and a bit of darkness. It's a night built on irony. But somehow, people have managed to turn even that into a moral battlefield. What used to be about creativity and fun has become one more reason to point fingers and lecture others.
Halloween is too much for your fragile sensibilities, and you're worried about seeing someone wearing something that's on the forbidden costume list. Just stay the f*** home.
Every single year, the same headlines pop up. 23 costumes you should never wear. Sites like BuzzFeed and the other clickbait factories love this stuff. This year, topping the forbidden list is the Jeffrey Dahmer costume. Supposedly, dressing as a serial killer means you're glorifying evil. Really? If that's the case, should we stop dressing as vampires, zombies, or Hannibal Lecter too? Come on, Halloween has always had a dark side. That's part of what makes it fun. It's a night where we can safely play with fear, not celebrate it. Nobody who dresses as Dahmer thinks he's a hero. It's about channeling the shock and curiosity around his story, just like we do with any famous villain. Sure, it's creepy. It's supposed to be. That's the point.
Every year, there's a new list of offensive things we shouldn't do on the day that's all about being offensive. You know what I want to cancel? November 1st, All Scolds Day. When the good people announce which costumes the bad people wore. BuzzFeed, I mean Buzz... has a list of 23 costumes they're literally begging you not to wear. Of course, this year, the #1 no-no is serial cannibal and Netflix sensation Jeffrey Dahmer.
Trying to ban a Dahmer costume isn't just pointless, it's impossible. You could literally make one in 10 minutes from a thrift store. A blonde wig, some aviator glasses, and a button-down shirt. Boom, you're done. What are they going to do next? Outlaw glasses? And when Simone Biles tweeted, "Put the Dahmer costumes back in the closet," "We ain't having it," Maher fired back with the perfect line. "Who's we? Who made you the great pumpkin?" That's the thing. Nobody voted these people in as the moral gatekeepers of Halloween. They just decided they are.
eBay has already banned selling it because otherwise it would be impossible to find a blonde wig and aviator glasses. Simone Biles tweeted, "Put the Jeffrey Dahmer costumes back in the closet. We ain't having it." Who's we? What's with the we? Who died and made you the great pumpkin?
And the more things they try to ban, the more ridiculous it all gets. This year, they even added Queen Elizabeth to the too soon list. Seriously? The woman lived to 96. What's the time limit on that? 10 years? 50? The whole point of Halloween is to remember the dead, not erase them from pop culture. People have been dressing up as Elvis, Cleopatra, and Michael Jackson for decades. And guess what? The world didn't end. It's not about disrespect. It's about recognition. Being remembered is actually a form of flattery. Dressing up as someone iconic means they left a mark on the world, and that's something worth acknowledging, not censoring.
So tired of a handful of emotional hemophiliacs on social media telling us what we can't do on Halloween. And by the way, please put drugs in my candy. Listen to these other verboten costumes on stupid lists this year, including Queen Elizabeth because it's too soon. Yes, 96, practically an ingenue.
And then there's the new rule: no genies. Apparently, genies were slaves, so now we can't dress as Aladdin, schoolgirls, Playboy bunnies, Elvis, or any celebrity who's ever been accused of anything. So who's left? Pumpkins and ghosts? At this rate, the only safe costume will be a plain white cloud, just a puff of polyester with no cultural meaning at all. Can't offend anyone with that, right? The absurdity speaks for itself. Even the so-called safe costumes have dark roots. Witches were persecuted women who were burned alive. Demons represent evil. Zombies are literally corpses. But somehow, that's fine because no one's trending hashtags about undead rights. It's pure hypocrisy. Halloween has always thrived on irony and exaggeration. That's what makes it fun and unique. It's the one night when we get to laugh at the dark, face the uncomfortable, and poke fun at what scares us. That's healthy. It's a release. The moment we start sanitizing Halloween, we strip away everything that makes it magical. The creativity, the humor, and the freedom to be weird without fear.
Of course, don't even think about characters outside of your race, and no genies, because genies were slaves, okay. No schoolgirls, no Playboy bunnies, no celebrities accused of, including Elvis. You can't dress up as Elvis? That's an entire industry.
If art, movies, and comedy are allowed to explore the edges of human imagination, then why can't Halloween? Why can't we laugh, pretend, and play without turning it into a political debate? Maybe the real monster isn't the person in a controversial costume. Maybe it's the culture that's convinced everyone to stop having fun. And that's really the heart of Maher's message. The problem isn't someone dressing as Dahmer. It's the fear that's made people too scared to express themselves. The outrage culture has become so performative that even joy feels suspicious now. That's tragic, because creativity only thrives when people take risks. Humor only works when it's bold. So honestly, if a Halloween costume ruins your night, here's an easy fix. Go to bed early. Let the rest of us enjoy the candy and the chaos. Because seriously, this gets worse every year. People scroll through lists of forbidden costumes, panicking that they might offend someone they don't even know. Meanwhile, the rest of us just want to have a laugh, scare a few kids, eat some chocolate, and move on with life. Halloween isn't about politics. It's about parody and play. It's about looking at your neighbor dressed as a 6-foot taco and laughing so hard you forget which political side they're on. It's one of the last times when everyone, left, right, or somewhere in between, can just relax and be ridiculous together. But apparently, even that's too much now. Maybe instead of canceling costumes, we should cancel culture.
Every year we go through this Lists of costumes you better not wear, lest a night of irreverent dress-up spiral into something that resembles fun. Here's an idea, clickbait websites. I won't tell you how to harvest and sell my personal data, and you don't tell me what I can wear on Halloween. Because Halloween is supposed to be outrageous. It's a festival of the sacrilegious and a celebration of the grotesque, from zombies to ghouls to bobbing for apples and other people's saliva.
When you really think about it, all this moral policing says more about the people doing it than about anyone else. The ones constantly telling others what not to wear, what not to say, and what not to joke about. They're not protecting culture. They're choking it. They're killing the curiosity, humor, and creativity that actually bring people together. And here's the real irony. These same people who demand representation are the ones trying to stop others from engaging with different cultures in the first place. They say, "We want inclusion," but then shout, "Don't wear that. It's not yours." So which is it? You can't have both. When someone wears another culture's clothing with respect and admiration, that's not stealing. That's celebrating. It's saying, "This is beautiful, and I want to honor it." We should be encouraging that kind of curiosity, not shaming it. At the end of the day, Halloween isn't supposed to be perfect. It's meant to be messy, funny, bold, and even a little tasteless. That's what makes it great. It's the one night when everyone gets to let loose, be weird, and then go back to normal life the next day. No harm done. Maybe it's time we stop taking ourselves so seriously. Not everything has to carry a deep moral message. Sometimes a costume really is just a costume. Sometimes Dracula is just a guy in fake teeth trying to score some free candy. So this Halloween, wear what you want. Be respectful, sure. But don't let fear or judgment steal your fun. Life's too short to live under constant outrage. And if someone tries to lecture you about your costume choice, just smile and say, "Hey, maybe you should go as a sense of humor this year." Because honestly, that's the scariest thing missing in 2025. Thanks for watching, my friends. If you agree that Halloween should stay fun and free, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Drop a comment below and tell me what you're wearing this year, especially if it's something on the forbidden list. And if you're tired of cancel culture sucking the joy out of everything, make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. Because the real trick this Halloween isn't avoiding candy. It's avoiding outrage.